Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector and I am back. I do have another update for you on some games and even some consoles that I've sold recently to acquire some different games, right? So I have been on a Sega Genesis kick these past few months, and my attention has now been turning more to the Super Nintendo, but I don't at all want to get every game, not even close. I'm not even looking to collect for a whole genre at all. I'm really just going specifically after Super Nintendo shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, and then certain Super Nintendo games that just graphically look amazing. Also action platformers, right? And so if you caught the last episode, you'll see that I picked up a copy of Demon's Crest, which is a beautiful action platformer in terms of just the sprite work. Really great game. It's a classic. And so I've got a couple more, I guess, really cool pickups here on the SNES as well as the Sega Genesis. And I sold a bunch of stuff and made some trades to get these. So not gonna do too much jabbering and blabbering. Gonna dive right into a thrift store pickup that I actually made. This one was a quick one, so I'll start off with this one, and that is for this copy of Mario Super Mario Bros. Wii. Sorry. So I've never had a copy of this on the Wii. I guess I just always felt like I would run into it one day at a thrift store or somewhere, and lo and behold, I did. This was $12, so I went ahead and grabbed it, complete in box. Everything is almost like brand new, minty fresh. So you know how I feel about that. Went ahead and picked up this copy of Super Mario Bros. Wii on the Nintendo Wii. So that was a cool little pickup here. Then I wound up going to one of my local retro game stores here and picking up this. So if you don't know what this is a sensor for the Super Scope, and that is because the sensor that I have is a little damaged, and my Super Scope hasn't been working that well. And I tried to play a little bit of Battle Clash the other day and wasn't successful. So it could be my TV too. So gonna go ahead and just see if this does the trick. So again, a new sensor for the Nintendo Super Scope. All right, now we're gonna dive into some of these trades, right? So went ahead and went to my local game store and was able to bring another box of stuff. I had some Guitar Hero guitars that I didn't need. I had some SNES games that I wasn't gonna keep anymore. I think I also had some Sega Genesis games, some Wii stuff, a whole bunch of stuff, and dropped that off. And I went in there wanting two specific games that I knew that they had, and I'll go over these games here with you now. And so the first game that I knew that they had that I wanted to grab was this copy of Revenge of Shinobi, or I think this is the Shinobi 3. So this is a really cool kind of like run, I wouldn't say action platformer, I guess action game. It's kind of like an action, ninja game. So everyone's pretty much familiar with the Shinobi games, and I wanted to have this in my Sega collection. I think the art, the graphics in this game, also the gameplay is amazing. So this is one that I went ahead and added to the Sega Genesis collection. Again, complete in box, not in horrible shape, but this Shinobi copy I did go ahead and add. And then this is one that's a blast from the past. My brother didn't have this game long, but he did have it for a short period of time, and my cousins had it as well. And that's Batman, right? So Batman, the video game, this is the Sunsoft edition, or the one that Sunsoft produced on the Sega Genesis, and this is kind of like a little bit of a beat 'em up, kind of like a action platforming beat 'em up game. If you like Batman, well, let me get a better grip on this here, but if you like Batman, if you like the Batman movie, this is the one with Jack Nicholson, I think, and Michael Keaton. And a lot of people regard this Batman as the best Batman, the definitive Batman. But let me know what you think down in the comments. But I did add this to the Sega collection, so I'm stoked to have that. Again, complete in box, has the registration card, all that jazz. All right, now we're going to dive into 4 SNES games that I've been able to pick up after selling about, I want to say close to $500 worth of stuff. went ahead and just got rid of a bunch of stuff. I had some doubles that I sold because I did want to get these SNES games, and I'm going to start off with the first one here because this one is it's not a grail or anything, but it's a pretty cool version, and it's going to follow along real well with what we just looked at. But that's Batman Returns. Right now, Batman Returns on the Sega Genesis was garbage, but Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo was actually pretty good. Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo was made by Konami, right? So, and this is a beat 'em up. So, you know, it's got all the elements of a classic beat 'em up. You can grab people, slam people. I do like the fact that you get unlimited batarangs in this one. So that is cool. And it's just a beat 'em up. So I would definitely check it out. It's nothing to write home about, but it's definitely better than the Batman Returns on Sega. So check this one out. And then the next game that I went ahead and got was this, and this is a blast from the past, right? This has nostalgia written all over it, but I went ahead and got a copy of The Mask. If you've never seen this movie, this is a movie starring Jim Carrey where he gets this magical mask that creates this superhero-like character that's his alter ego, and it's just really wacky and crazy and Looney Tune-ish. But this is an amazing movie. I love this movie, and the game is really good. This is another game that I got because of the sprite work. The Mask is actually a really good-looking game. If you play it, it looks good. The colors are great. It's wacky. It's zany. And if you like the movie, I would definitely recommend checking out The Mask on the SNES. All right, and then we've got next up here. This is one that I was gonna get. I thought about getting it on the Genesis, but this is one that in my opinion, is actually better on the Super Nintendo, which is surprising because I love the first part, and that did come out on the Genesis. But that is Sparkster on the Super Nintendo. Now, Sparkster was available or is available on the Sega Genesis. You can get and play this game there, but I just felt like the music on the Super Nintendo was better, and the game actually kind of looks better on the Super Nintendo, in my opinion. You know, I was able to get a hold of a copy and went ahead and snagged that there on the SNES. This is one that I'm glad to collect because it's fun. It's an action platformer. It's Rocket Knight, right? Konami, and then just graphically it looks amazing. So this is a good one to check out, Sparkster on the Super Nintendo. All right, and then last but not least, when it comes to these pickups, everyone that watches my channel, you know that I'm into my shooters, my shoot 'em ups, and like I said, I tried to just collect the shoot 'em ups for the Super Nintendo, and I've gotten a few. There's a few on my bucket list that I still got to get, but this was one that I wanted to get, and that is Imperium on the Super Nintendo. I don't hear this game talked about a lot. When you play it, it kind of feels a little bit like Musha or maybe Truxton in terms of like how your ship is laid out, but it's not as action packed. I think that this is this is one of the better looking shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo, and it is fun. But for some reasons, you know, just for whatever reason, Nintendo was just never able to capture, you know, they just weren't able to make shoot 'em ups the way Sega was, for whatever reason. I think the best shooter, in my opinion, that you could get on the SNES in terms of gameplay is probably going to be a toss-up between R-Type 3 and Axlay. And for me, it's going to be Axlay. But just Super Nintendo couldn't get the shmups right. That's just my opinion. You can let me know how you felt about that down in the comments. But just when it came to action games like this, Sega always did it better. But this is a good one. This is a better shoot 'em up on the Super Nintendo, and this is one that I wanted to have in my collection. And that does it in terms of the pickups that we've got. And not a whole lot going on right now. It is getting drier and drier, and what's funny is that I'm not really seeing as many online sales as I was before. I don't know if it's people who are just sitting on what they've got, especially if they feel like what they've got is rare or good. Not seeing as many postings as before. And then what I do see in terms of like solid games or rare titles, you know, the condition is just really bad. So, but let me know what you're seeing out there, because I'm not even seeing like, you know, rare stuff in game stores anymore. It's just even when I go to the game stores, I'm just seeing a lot of common stuff. But again, let me know what you're seeing out there. I am the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're enjoying this weekend. I will be back with another video. Take it easy.